So, reminder about virtual tutoring. If you need hours or help, let me know. I'll help you out. Now, on this warm-up, it says to find the arc length. Now, if you don't remember, hopefully you wrote it down yesterday on your warm-up. It's theta over 360 2 pi r. This is in your notes from 2 days ago, so you should have that formula. But here's the thing. It says the major arc. It's the bold, thicker line. So you're not going to use 118, right? It's like 118 goes out here, right? This is 118 from the central angle. 118 is not theta, okay? I'm going this way, the major arc. How do I figure this major arc if the whole circle is 360 and the minor arc is 118? What should I do? Yeah, subtract. 360 minus 118 is what? 242. So theta equals 242, not 118. And the radius, you can see right there, is 4. So we're going to plug it into this formula. 242 over 360 times 2 pi 4. Now, how do they want the answer? As a decimal or terms of pi? Well, it says terms of pi. Do y'all remember? Terms of pi means you do not multiply the pi, you write the pi. So if I type this in the calculator, it'll be 242 over 360 times 2, no pi, times 4. So it's going to look like this, okay? And when I type it in, if I press Control Enter, I get 5.377, which rounds to 5.38. Since I did not type the pi, I have to write the pi. And my units of measure are centimeters. Arc length is not squared. Okay? So, stay with me because we're going to do these notes on equations of circles. Okay? Okay. Ready? Okay, at the top here, if you look at that picture, it says H comma K. Where is H comma K? In the center. Write that down. H comma K, those two letters are the center of a circle. Now R, hopefully we all know what R stands for by now, right? R is the radius, the distance from the center to the edge. All right. Now, here's your 3 steps. If you're given a graph, right? Step 1, find the center. Step 2, find the radius. And step 3, plug into this formula. So everybody box this formula. This is the formula we're using today on the notes in the assignment. Now I want you to notice something. In this equation, you have x and y like normal. Those always stay x and y. But look, h and k, what's in front of h and what's in front of k? A minus sign. A minus sign means it's opposite sign. So if h or k is a positive, you write it as a negative. If h or k is a negative, you write it as a positive. How many of y'all have ever heard from Algebra 1 the idea that insiders lie? You ever heard that? No? Okay, well, the way I teach it, if you see parentheses with an X and a Y, whatever's inside the parentheses is a lie. Here's what I mean. Here's a story, okay? I don't know if you know who 007 is or James Bond or whatever, okay? Or think of a spy. How does a spy infiltrate and get into the place he wants to go? How does he spy? Well, spies have to lie, right? To get inside, they have to pretend to be someone else, have a fake badge, whatever it is, right? So think about inside of a parentheses is a lie. Insider's lie. That's the way we say it. So again, H and K are inside parentheses. You're going to write the sign, positive and negative, opposite. And then look, it equals r squared. So whatever the radius is, you got to square it. So I'm going to show you how to do it right here, right now. Look at number one. Or sorry, look at the first one on the far left. What is the center of that circle? Some of us need to remember and maybe improve on how to find coordinate points. Now look, is this point 2, 3 or 3, 2? Well, it's always x before y. So you go horizontally left or right first, and then you go vertically bottom up second. Okay. So here's how I would think about it. I put my pencil at the origin. Do I go left or right? Well, I go right 2. Right is positive, so I'm going to put 2. Everyone follow along? And then it goes up 3. 3 is up, so positive, right? So 2, 3 is my center of that circle. Now, when they ask what's the R, all you got to do is count from the center to the edge. How many units? So 1, 2 units, right? All right. Now, I'm going to plug that into that equation that we have at the top there. So go ahead and write parentheses x minus, what is my h value? So please remember, this center, this is h, and this is k, right? So it's going to be x minus the x value, which is 2, parentheses squared, and then my equation has a plus sign. Parentheses, now the next one is y minus k. K, hey, put it back. Put it back. K is the y value of the center, which is 3, right? So it's going to be y minus 3 squared in parentheses equals, and then it's r squared. So what is my r? 2. I'm going to write 2 squared. Okay, now here's the deal. I wrote it up here instead of at the bottom because you want to make sure you have it simplified. So the beginning of the equation is fine. Go ahead and rewrite x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals, here's the deal. You don't want to put 2 squared. You got to tell me what is 2 squared. What's 2 times 2? 4, right? That's your final equation. Don't leave it as 2 squared. You got to actually square the number, okay? All righty then. Next one. What is the center of this circle? So again, starting from the center, does it go left or right? To the center. Left 3. Does everyone know left is negative numbers, right? So my center is negative 3. And does it go up or down? It goes up 2. So positive 2. Please don't write 2, 3, or 2, negative 3, or positive 3, positive 2. Like, there's so many ways to get this wrong. You got to start at the center, go left or right, and then up or down. And remember, left is negative, down is negative. Okay, what's the radius? So count from the center to the edge. 1, 2, 3. All right, y'all ready to plug it in here? So we're going to write x, parentheses, x minus, what's my h value? The x of the center is negative 3. So it's going to be x minus negative 3. Parentheses squared plus parentheses y minus the y value, which is 2, parentheses squared equals r squared, which is 3 squared. Do you see how I'm plugging in h, k, and r? H, k, and r, right? Now, look, minus a negative. You never really see that. What do you know about minus and a negative? Minus a negative, it's like a double negative, it turns into a plus sign, okay? Now, do you have to write this step, or can you just like know that? You can just know that, right? I'm showing all my work here, but if you do minus a negative, you cannot forget to change it to a plus sign for your final equation, okay? So let's write our final equation. Instead of minus a negative 3, it's going to be x plus 3 squared. Y minus 2 squared is the same. And remember, I don't want 3 squared. I want to know what is 3 squared. And it's not 6. 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. All right. Last one on this row, right? What if your circle is centered right at the center, the origin? What numbers are those? 0, 0, right? Y'all know that's origin is 0, 0. Write that down. And then count the radius from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units is the radius. Let's plug it in. So x minus, but this time it's 0 squared, plus y minus, this one's also 0, equals 5 squared. Now, usually you don't see x minus 0 because what is x minus 0? If you take away nothing, it stays the same. So that's really just x squared. So when you have a 0, it's really the parentheses and the 0 go away, okay? So it's just x squared plus, and then y minus 0 squared is really just y squared. And then 5 squared is not 10. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay. All three of these, you were given a graph, and you gave me the equation. Okay, so we're going to learn how to do that backwards, but look at the next three before you turn the page. The next three have no graph, but they give you what you need. HK, the center, and R. So can you literally do the same thing on your own using these three examples? So I want you to try it. I'll give you a minute, and we'll go over it. So try those three. See how far you can get in a minute, starting now. Try it. All right, so the first one. Now, here's what I'm going to do on these. I'm going to cut to the final equation, all right? So I know it's parentheses x, the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3, parentheses squared, plus y, the opposite of positive 5 is minus 5, squared equals, and then what is r? What is 12 squared? Hey, look over here. What's 12 squared? You don't know? Not 12 times 2. 12 times 12. 12 squared is 144. Okay, please remember, squared, there's a button for it in your calculator. Times itself is what you're doing. Okie dokie. Next one. So x, the opposite of plus 4 is minus 4 squared. Plus y, the opposite of plus 7 is minus 7 squared, equals, and what's 9 squared? 9 times 9 is not 18, it is 81, right? Last one, if there's zeros, that's going to be x squared, it's going to be y squared, and that's going to equal 9 because 3 squared equals 9. Okie dokie, flip it over. We're going to talk about what if you're given the equation, can you tell me the center, can you tell me the radius? Okay. Does anyone still need this? All right, let's flip it over. Sorry. On the back, here we go. Now, if you can go forwards, hopefully you can think about it going backwards. So, given the equation, find the center and the radius. So at the top, go ahead and rewrite the formula. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. What are you doing? Hey, stop. Wait, do that again so I can take a picture and see your coach. And with Juan laughing in the back, supporting you. All right. All right. So x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 49. So here's the deal. Please remember, in this equation, insiders lie. So the inside of the parentheses is opposite. So do you see how this says minus 2? What's my x value going to be? Regular 2, right? Because minus 2 is a lie, positive 2 is the answer. Same thing with the y. The minus 3 is a lie, so it's going to be positive 3. Now, here's the tricky trick. Ready? That 49 is not the radius. Look at the equation. It's r squared, right? So here's what you can write. R squared equals 49. How do you get rid of a square? What's the opposite of square? Square root. So I square root 49 and the square root of 49. If you don't know it, calculator will tell you it's 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Okay. That's it. Could you do that? Okay. So once again, to get the center, the opposite and the opposite. So what's the opposite of plus 1 and plus 4? Negative 1, negative 4. If r squared equals 25, once again, what's the square root of 25? 5. 5 times 5 is 25, right? And remember from the front side, if there's no parentheses, that means there's nothing there. Think of it as 0. So that's 0, 0. R is the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, that's it. Now these next ones are kind of challenging ones, which we're going to go over here. So let's do this. We'll do like some of these. So write the equation of a circle with the center 8, 5 that passes through a point. Now look, we have HK, H comma K, but we don't have the radius. The radius is a mystery right now. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to plug this information. We're going to plug this as HK, the center, and we're going to plug in the point as XY. Here's what I mean. Let's go ahead and write the equation. x, the opposite of 8 is minus 8 squared, plus y, the opposite of 5 is minus 5 squared. We don't know r, so we're going to call it r squared. So if you have a problem like this, where you have a center and a point, hey, look over here. Hey. We're going to use this number and this number and plug it into x and y. So that negative 2 is actually going to go right here. Negative 2 minus 8 squared plus y is 4, so 4 minus 5 squared. Whatever we get there, that's going to be r squared. So off to the right here, I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to plug in this entire left side of the equation. Okay. Negative 2 minus 8 squared plus 4 minus 5 squared gives me 101. Okay, so again, you get the equation, you plug in the point into x and y, type in the whole left side. So now I have 101 equals r squared. So I can put that right here. I know what r squared is. Now, if you know what r squared is, this, and you know what the center is, this, you can already write your equation. If I want to go from r squared is 101 to the r, all I got to do is square root that 101. Square root of 101 is 10.05. Okay, but let's remember the equation at the top here. I'm going to write my equation, and for r squared, I'm just going to write 101. Cool. So x minus 8 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals, and again, instead of r squared, I'm going to write 101. You plug in the points you know to get r squared. Okay, the next one is the same, so I'm going to do this one real quick. I'm going to do the opposite of h and k in my equation. X plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals r squared. I'm going to plug this in as x and y. Plug this into the equation, into the calculator. Ten is r squared. To find r, I got to do the square root. But for my equation, I'm going to rewrite this using r squared and hk. All right. Does everyone have these two down? Because I'm about to do this one right here. If you're staring at your phone and I can see you haven't done it, you should probably get this down real quick. You haven't written it down. Okay. So the last two are a different type of problem. Okay. We're going to skip the last two. Okay. this one, and this one, okay? You could do it using midpoint. I'm not going to expect you to do it on the test, so that's going to be it. Cool. I'm going to pass out the assignment. The assignment is kind of, it's stapled. It's not hard. It's just stapled, so there's lots of problems. But you can do it. You got the rest of today and tomorrow, right? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I will help you with number one just to make sure you know how to graph this, okay? I know you don't have Hey, check it out. Look at number one, please. Okay. Do y'all remember when there's no parentheses, what's the center? 0, 0, right? And the radius, if this says 4, please remember r squared equals 4. So what do you have to do to get the r? Square root. What's the square root of 4? What times itself is 4? 2. Okay, so please be careful on number one. It's not 4 for the radius, it's 2. So here's how you do this. Put a point at the center, 0, 0. Put a point where I can see it. Make it kind of wide enough. So how do you draw a circle? Here's how you do it. Is everyone listening? You're going to take that radius 2. You're going to count 2 up, 2 to the left, 2 down, and 2 to the right. So I'm going to go up 2, put a point. Left 2, put a point. Down 2, put a point. Right 2, put a point. Now, if you just connect those dots, you're going to get a diamond. I don't want you to draw a diamond. So do your best to make a circle go through those 4 points. Okay? Make it circular, not diamond-like. Okay? So again, you're kind of curving it around. That's my horrible take. Kind of looks like a lopsided potato, but that's better than a diamond. Okay? So just do your best. It doesn't have to be perfect, but don't draw a diamond. Hopefully that makes sense. When you're graphing these, that's how you do it. Work on this today, and you got some time tomorrow. Here we go.